Now we are going to introduce the second speaker of this morning. We are going to welcome somebody who lives between code bars and university classrooms with their feet on the ground. David Burras is a system engineer. He's the founder of Radium Rocket, a company that develops customized technology, and he's also the director of simulators and video games university, and his work goes well beyond the technical aspect, because when he was invited to create this university degree, he was unaware that he was about to get something that would change his life forever. All that he had learned, what he could teach during months, the other way about. He realized he was able to teach in a couple of months what had taken him years to learn. So I give you David Burras. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Amazing what we heard from Roberto. Thank you so much for making this world a place with food so that we don't have to look for in other planets. In 2008, I was with my girlfriend then, now my wife, Jessica. She was learning how to drive. And as most people in Rosario, she attended an academy, a driving school, and she had the problem that there were false starts when she started the engine. So one day, I told her, let's go to the road behind the airport, and I tell her, take a seat, take the wheel, and put the clutch, press the clutch, and press the other pedal and release it. The car almost skidded. I had a gray car, old car, the first car I had, but it responded well with this combination of pedals. That day she learned that it was not so hard, the uncontrollable situation. And what I realized is that it could be disruptive in the way we could teach. When you, perhaps by teaching what you have to take care of, right from the start, you lose fear. From that moment onwards, the car never skidded ever again. She learned. In 2019, almost 10 years later, somebody asked me a question that changed the way I looked at teaching. I was asked, what if we teach English teachers how to program? Perhaps this doesn't mean too much, but at the time, it opened my mind. It drew a veil. I was about to turn 33. I lived in Rosario. My wife was pregnant of my daughter Sophie. I had started my bachelor degree of video simulators school, and I started the development of rockets, the development of software company, but the trick was to train people right from the start, to teach people what took me 4 years in 4 months. So this is no innocent question. I had been teaching for 4 years, in 4 months, what had taken me many more years to learn. What do you need to go to the United States? English. How long do you need? 3 years to learn English and 3 months to program from zero. So what if we teach English teachers how to program? And that was mind-blowing. I was learning more from my students than they were learning from me, although they were learning fast. And there was something that was wrong. I did not understand what. Those 4 months and 3 years guided me to use, within the university as well as in my company, a sequence of repetitive experiments that are having better and better results. Sir Kent Robinson wrote a book in 2015 where he said school is based on the industrial revolution model. Students can be classified according to their year of manufactured. Subjects are conveyor belts. Exams are quality tests. The bell initiates the beginning and the end. Although we do not realize the beginning and the end of the day. There's an analogy for an 18th century problem of the Industrial Revolution. And in the same book and in several talks that you can watch in TEDx, he proposes to go from an industrial education model to a farming education model, whereby knowledge is organic. For knowledge to blossom, you have to control the environment, but the plant will grow anyway. What we can do is support it so that it grows healthier and better. This has led me to think of my background. I come from the north of a little village in the province of Buenos Aires, and my family, we are bakers. Before the Industrial Revolution, how was bread made? It was an artisanal process that still continues, but Industrial Revolution allows for positive things. I'm not criticizing it. I'm trying to make you see the passing of time and the things that advanced and moved forward and the things that did not. In the 18th century, with the Industrial Revolution, we see the processes that start being automatized. The lines where he could produce to cater for the human needs was in this way, and by the end of this century, the robotics, by the end of the process, we included technologies whereby we do not need to involve a human being to produce. If we look at that timeline, I think that it's worth questioning. Aren't we lagging behind in the way we convey knowledge and we manage knowledge across generations? And I'm not just speaking of school, a primary school, secondary school, or university. I'm talking about within our companies, within the workplace. I hear every day that this new generation are all lazy people. They do not want to work. That's not the case. The world is changing, and knowledge has to change. In April 2020, with the COVID strike, we tried to conduct an experiment in our company. I was indoor, my head was spinning, and we developed a BAS course, Become a Software Professional. It was the same course with a twist. The idea was to learn by teaching. What I wanted to show was I'm absorbing more when I am teaching my students than when they are taking from me. I'm acquiring the experiences and all the mistakes they are making in real time, and I'm getting more and more enriched. So the question is, what if the other way about? If collaborative knowledge is the way forward, if teaching was the best possible way to learn? So it's worth asking oneself that question. I want to be clear. I'm not here coming to force an idea into you. I just want to share with you my experience as to knowledge management within the company life. In a technology company, we develop software and virtual reality, disrupted technology. But sometimes you have to go back and review your steps within the university, but also in my private life. My life is impacted at all times by this constant question: am I learning more by teaching than the other one by learning with me?
This is the model that we implemented in the company. It's knowledge management. So we have a boot camp, like most technology companies, where we teach to people that do not know how to program, but we teach the same roles in the same course. So instead of a career plan, we call it growth plan. It has 3 big sectors where the person seems to be growing linearly, in a linear way. But the phrase is, all I know is that I know nothing. Why? Because what we have to teach to youngsters, to apprentices, is to deal with the frustration of not knowing. We need to teach them to humbly understand that they do not know, but at the same time, we need to motivate them to create collaboratively. Like, for example, when you're told not to cheat at school, well, nowadays in this world, it's collaboration. So it's about learning collaboratively. As part of this path, which takes around 12-18 months of work within our company, the collaborator at a given point in time meets with the next challenge, which is teaching as part of a responsibility. If you want to be a leader, if you want to lead, you need to teach. And in this case, there is more knowledge acquisition and better understanding of new problems. So the second stage of leadership is based on the 80-20 Pareto rule. We believe that 80% of the time and 80% of problems can be worked out with 20% of their complexity. Now, there's a 20% of complex tasks that you will only be able to carry out after 20 years of experience. So what do we need to do? We need to, first of all, teach these people to quickly detect and to quickly expose themselves to problems that they do not need to manage. If they come across these problems, they will say, I will try it, and I will not devote more time than what is really necessary to it. I can raise my hand and ask for help to work this problem out. So the right environment, the right climate is generated in order for the plant to flourish. So this is collaborative work. So this 2-level circuit already creates a mentor-disciple linkage that is stronger than any type of leadership. The mentor wants the disciple to surpass him or her. And the lower level, that is to say, the student only moves on to the next level if he trains someone else. The only way in which you can grow is if you train the person that will replace you. It's your team. You want your team to do well. But also you need your team to do well, because otherwise you will not be able to climb the ladder. And the last level, the final level, is the most complex part. It's being a mentor's mentor. It's the phrase that we use is that you're not a problem solver. At the end of the day, what you do is you change problems that you know by with a new set of problems that you don't know. Every solution comes hand in hand with a new set of problems. What you've changed is the context. That is to say, the problems that you knew how to work out, well, that passes on and it changes, and there's a new set of problems that you don't know about. And that is what growth is about. As part of this growth, you can experiment and you can design together as part of a team in an organic way and in a healthy manner. So I'm telling this as if it were as if it worked like clockwork, but it's not. It fails everywhere, but it's alive. And my idea is to invite you to rethink about how much, not just the educational system, but also the knowledge management system within your companies is going to survive moving forward with a generation that is demanding something different, that is demanding non-linear knowledge, where people can learn in an organic way with technology. Technology is not something bad. What we need to understand is that we need to generate the right environment in order for this plant to grow healthy with the new ecosystem of tools that's there. So the name of my presentation is The Last Time Someone Taught Me Something. To put this together, this presentation, and tell you this, and especially during this time while I'm improvising everything that I'm saying, I learned. Thank you for this little time that you gave me. You've taught me.